Well, you consider it now. There were many of us engaged in it. It is hard to explain to persons who have never utilized it as an evening's entertainment as we in our time did. But I suppose it was as avidly followed, and it caused as much social conversation, and certainly did, I suspect, rather less harm than the popular one that might as well be nameless now, in which I also make a living. It was a very rich theatrical form that has not been matched, I think, in many aspects by anything that has come later.
Roma Wines present
Suspense.
Roma Wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
Salud.
Your health, senor.
Roma Wines toast the world. The wine for your table is Roma Wine, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
This is the man in black, here for the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California, to introduce this weekly half hour of Suspense. Tonight in Hollywood, Roma Wines bring you the MGM star, Miss Lucille Ball.
Between films, Lucy began to carve out a second career on the radio. She appeared on Duffy's Tavern, Abbott and Costello, the Screen Guild Theater, and Suspense. Her first appearance was opposite Hans Conried on January 13th, 1944, in Dime a Dance.
Both set to music. And so with Dime a Dance and with the performance of Lucille Ball as a red-haired young lady named Ginger Allen, Roma Wines again hope to keep you in suspense.
Have you ever danced with a murderer? Doesn't cost any more for the extra thrill. It's only a dime. How could I do it, you say? I had to save my own life. I'm a taxi dancer from the Joyland Palace. One of the places just off Broadway in the 40s, you know the kind of place. Second-rate dance bands like Frankie Froman's 15 Frolickers. I was late to work that night. I ran down Broadway, scrambling through the crowd to the entrance of the Joyland.
50 beautiful girls upstairs, boys. Come in and count them yourself. No admission, 10 cents a dance. Come in, we're just getting started. The music is the very...
Hello, Max.
Hey, Ginger, you better step on him. Marina's looking for you. You're late. He's burning.
I know it. Has Julie come in yet?
Not yet. 50 beautiful girls waiting to dance. We just step right in. No admission, please. Walk right in there.
Good evening. So you finally decided to come, did you?
Hiya, Marino. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, you ought to be, and so should Julie. All the cash customers are waiting. I sent out the girls before all of yous are here, and you say I'm playing favorites.
Well, blame it on Julie. She gave me a stand-up tonight.
All right, so I'll blame it on Julie. Where is she?
Isn't she here?
No, and she ain't home neither, because I phoned her there 15 minutes ago. Thought she was with you.
And I thought she was here.
Hey, if this is no gag, what happened to her?
Well, that's what I'm beginning to wonder.
Go on in and get your stuff on. Julie be all right.
Yeah, maybe she slipped in while you were busy counting tickets or something. See you right away, Marino.
Thanks for being late and being teacher's pet. We've been entertained by Mom here while waiting for
All right, lay off. Mom, throw me that foot powder. Looks like a heavy night out there. My feet still hurt from last night.
Here you are, dearie. That's the way I am, girlies. What I like every once in a while is a good, juicy murder.
Nice kid. Old enough to be murdered herself. Throw me that dress, would you, Madame Defarge, the green one. Is Julie here?
Not unless she's hiding in the closet, honey.
Do any of you know where she is?
You asking us? Ain't she your buddy? Maybe they had a fight.
Well, did any of you hear from her?
Why not ask Marino? He's been hanging around her.
Now, that southern girl, Sally, she used to work in a joint like this one further uptown. There was a murder for you.
Come on, hurry it up in there. Out the floor and step on it.
She just never showed up to work one night.
Who didn't?
That southern girl, Sally. Then they found her. That was about 3 years ago. Oh, what a sight she was when the police discovered the body.
Oh, cut it out, Mom.
Then there was the Robinson gal out in Brooklyn, stabbed to death. They found a phonograph and records by a body didn't even belong to her. The murderer brought his own music. Oh, she was a dance hall pony, too. Maybe some guy has it in for you girls.
Pleasant character.
Well, maybe one fella kills the both of them. Maybe there's a dance hall killer still at large getting ready for his next victim.
Now, what do you think I pay you girls for anyway?
I often wonder.
Joe Marino, think we're giving a free show in here?
You couldn't interest anybody in that chassis of yours, even with a set of dishes thrown in. All right, all of you, file out. I got something to tell Ginger.
Come on, get out.
Ginger, what I wanted to see you
I
about.
know, Marino. I put you in a spot. I'll be dressed in a minute, and if you'll ward off those garlic eaters tonight, I'll work twice as hard and make it up to you, honest.
No, I'm in no spot, Ginger. But you are.
Marino, what's the matter? What's happened?
The police want to see you, Ginger.
Police? What for? I didn't do anything.
I'm sorry, Ginger, but
Something's happened to Julie.
that's what the police want to see you about. Julie's dead.
Dead?
Murdered.
Most of us had that. It enabled you to work more often. When I tell you that I worked for 50 cents a night and that apprenticeship was very valuable, there were only 5 of us doing a show. It was a very cheap carbon copy of a very successful show out of New York called March of Time. And we called it It Happened Today. And I remember in one 30-minute show, for which I was paid 50 cents and wasn't worth much more, I had to play 18 voices in 30 minutes.
You know, you keep mentioning this, the craft which has all
Well, it has
been
the
lost,
same
let's
facility
say.
now and the same scope that being a dirigible pilot or a buggy whip raider, you know. It was a craft. We did our work, and those of us, I think, I can say honestly, we felt then, and I can speak out now and say we were very good indeed, those of us who worked. They were pretty capable actors within their scope and sphere.
It's high noon in New York and time for Kate Smith.
Hello, everybody. The people of the United States preferred to take D-Day seriously and prayerfully. There was no confetti, no wild demonstrations. Instead, thousands of Americans responded to the good news in a much finer and better way. Throughout the country, they trooped to blood donor stations and war bond booths. War bond sales increased. Payroll offices of factories were swamped with bond buyers. Some cities started their 5th war loan drive early and have already sold their quotas. Yes, Americans are rallying behind our gallant armies of liberation storming Fortress Europe. But don't forget for one moment that the war is far from won. So here on the home front this noon, let's renew our determination to do everything we can to speed the day of victory for our fighting men. And now, Ted, what's new?
The Allied Army of Liberation.
With the biggest war effort in full swing, Desi was put to the task of organizing entertainment shows for the Army, using his and Lucy's influence to snag stars for guest appearances. Word began to circulate about his abilities as a producer. He was soon put in charge of events at the Birmingham Hospital in San Fernando. Lucy threw herself into the fundraising efforts. 2 weeks after D-Day on June 22, 1944, she again appeared on Suspense in the 10 grand.
This is the Man in Black, here for the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California, to introduce this weekly half hour of Suspense. Tonight from Hollywood, Roma Wines bring you as star Miss Lucille Ball, who appears tonight as a Broadway lady, whom you may have often seen if you are a devotee of musical comedy. She is the 3rd one from the left in the chorus line. And so with this little lady's narrative about the 10 grand, and with the performance of Lucille Ball as Miss Gigi Lewis, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
Well, on this particular night, I'm standing in front of the Broadway Lindy's with my nose practically pasted against the window. It's late and I'm hungry. I've been pounding the pavements all day doing the rounds of the manager's offices. You'd think a good hoofer like I ought to be able to land something with all the shows on the big street. But here I am, standing like General Sherman's statue in front of Lindy's, looking at the pasted-up menu and mentally overindulging in a big, thick, juicy T-bone steak smothered with onions. That comfortable crowd inside there can toy politely with their chicken sandwiches and their shrimp cocktails for all I care. Just give me a T-bone smothered with onions. Here I am with 5 cents in my handbag, literally. Enough for the ride home in the subway, no extra charge for the empty stomach. Well, anyway, I could take my shoes off when I get in the subway. I turn around and give Lindy's one last sorrowful gander and then make for the subway entrance. It's just just the time the shows are letting out. And plenty of people from the taxi set are taking the subway home these nights, being short on tires and gas. So I get in that Times Square jam that looks like 5 o'clock p.m. and feels like a Russian pincers movement on the Polish border. I'm getting shoved toward the turnstile, so I quick try to get my handbag open to reach for that lonesome nickel. All of a sudden, I feel something jerk out of my hand. My bag is gone. I try to yell, "Stop! Hey, stop!" I twist around and see somebody, a little guy with short bow legs, running toward the stairs. "Stop that guy! Stop that guy! He's got my purse!" Hey, look! Stop him! I'm trying to break out of the mob and after the purse snatcher, but I'm like the ace of spades being dealt off the bottom of the pack. When I'm finally in the clear a little, I see a tall guy running after that little guy who has my purse. They both disappear around the corner and up the steps. There's plenty of commotion in the crowd. You'd think there was $1 million in my handbag for all the fuss they're making. But I don't stop to think about anything except that I lost my fare home. I take out after the tall guy. When I get to the foot of the stairs, the tall guy's coming down again. And he's got my bag in his hand. He's smiling a big, wide smile at me, and I'm gazing gratefully up into his big brown eyes and noticing the way his hairline ain't receding any. Just the guy to go around rescuing ladies in distress. Regular Sir Galahad or somebody.
Is this yours, miss?
Yeah. Gee, how can I ever thank you?
Think nothing of it. Here you are.
What about the guy, the thief?
Oh, there was a cop on the street. He'll take care of him. What about you? You're all right, aren't you?
Oh, sure, I'm all right.
You look kind of pale. I guess it would have been pretty tough to lose your purse that way, especially this late at night.
Oh, I don't know why you bothered, really. Nothing but a nickel in it, anyway. I don't carry much with me when I'm out at night.
A nickel will get you home.
He's smiling at me again, and my heart's saying, "Oh, brother." We both start towards the mob at the turnstile, and I'm busy hoping he's going my way so we can sort of get better acquainted, you know.
Well, good night. Hang on to that pocketbook now.
Well, aren't you, well, good night. I'm caught in that mob at the turnstile again, and the train's coming in. Somehow, the way you do in crowds, I lose sight of him. And I gotta concentrate on digging out that nickel to put in the slot. I open up my bag and find the nickel all right, and then my heart almost stops. There in my handbag sits a great big wad of bills, folding money, cash. I managed to get the nickel in the slot and get myself through to the platform and on the train, all the while hanging onto that bag as if there were 10 grand in it. $10,000. Gee, it could be that much. The roll is big enough. My head's going around in crazy circles. The doors close behind me and everybody in the car is rushing to find a seat. Over the noise, I hear something tennis.
Unfortunately, while Lucy was on tours for Bonds and to promote her new film, Meet the People, co-starring Dick Powell, word of Desi's nightlife was circulating. Confidential magazine published an expose about a Palm Springs weekend of his. Desi drunkenly insulted his superior officer. During the summer of 1944, he stopped coming home altogether. At first, Lucy responded by going on dates with other MGM contract players to make him jealous. It didn't work. She filed for divorce in September of 1944, citing grievous mental suffering. The night before Lucy was scheduled to appear in court, Desi showed up. He was contrite, and as a devout Catholic afraid of divorce. He promised her to be a better husband. They reconciled. The next morning, she dropped the suit.